Haley out in here from the American Digital Network studio. It's time for a brand new edition of The Rise. Thanks for tuning in. The men's basketball race only seems to be thickening as we reach the midway point of conference play. Last week, Cincinnati picked up one of its biggest victories of the season, knocking off rival Xavier to capture the Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout. Down at the half, the Bearcats rallied behind none other than a freshman as Jaron Cumberland scored 13 points in the second half, while the team used tenacious work on the glass to collect 30 second chance points in the 86-78 victory. The win moved Cincinnati up to number 14 in both national polls and helped Cumberland earn American Player of the Week accolades after he averaged a team-high 20.5 points on the week. He tacked on a career-high 26 in the Bearcats' 94-53 win over USF on Sunday. Cincinnati will open its week on Wednesday at Tulsa, where the Hurricane are unbeaten in conference play. For Tulsa, it's a golden opportunity to stake a claim to a top seed for the American Men's Basketball Championship. At 6-2 in the American, Tulsa will host the first-place Bearcats on Wednesday and then second-place SMU on Saturday evening. So two tough tests ahead for Frank Tate's squad. Entering the week, teams currently sitting 4th through 7th in the conference standings are within one game of each other, and Memphis, Houston, UCF, and UConn all face tough games this week. UCF and Houston will meet on Wednesday night and look for a little surprise from the Dan Patrick Show's Danettes during the game. Meanwhile, Memphis will travel to UCF on Saturday, while UConn meets Cincinnati on Saturday afternoon as well. So will there be any separation in the standings by the end of the week? That will be determined on the court, but expect some exciting games coming your way. And on the women's side, the week ahead sees pivotal matchups as well. Top-ranked UConn travels to Philadelphia on Wednesday to take on second-place Temple, while second-place USF hosts fourth-place Cincinnati the same day on the American Digital Network. UConn remains as the top-ranked team in the country, while USF sits at number 20 in the AP poll. Temple and Tulane are both receiving votes in the latest USA Today coaches poll, and all four teams were listed in the most recent bracketology report by Charlie Crean. Memphis head coach Melissa McFerrin celebrated a milestone last week and earned her 200th career victory during Saturday's win over UCF. Saturday was also the Tigers' Play for K game, and during halftime, Memphis honored the late mother of junior guard Brea Elmore, Diane, with a special jersey presentation. Elmore finished with a team-high 22 points and was named to the American Weekly Honor Roll after leading the Tigers to a pair of wins. The conference saw another milestone as UConn junior Gabby Williams recorded just the 5th ever triple-double in program history during a win over East Carolina. Williams had 16 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists in the victory. Classmate Kia Nurse also scored her 1,000th career point in the win as the Huskies matched their record of 34 consecutive road victories, a mark UConn first set from 2000 to 2004. American Player of the Week honors went to Tulane junior Colby Morgan. The guard averaged a double-double last week, 27.5 points and 10 rebounds, as the Green Wave moved to 5-3 in league play. She scored a career-high 35 points in an overtime win at Cincinnati while grabbing a career-best 12 rebounds. Morgan scored all of Tulane's points in the first quarter and had 10 of the team's 13 points in the fourth period. Colby wasn't the only Tulane player cited for national recognition. The WBCA announced participants for its 15th annual So You Want to Be a Coach program, and senior guard Leslie Vorpal made the 61-player list. Vorpal will participate in a 3-day workshop in late March in conjunction with the WBCA convention in Dallas, where she will learn about recruiting, the administrative side to coaching, how to get hired, and skill development. Coming up next, we feature a team that had quite a few question marks heading into the season after losing the most senior-laden roster in the country last year. With 10 newcomers, Tulsa currently sits in 3rd place in the American standings at the halfway point in the season. But the real test comes this week as they face the top 2 teams in the American. Stay with us.
We are American. We operate from a place of power, a place where what goes up doesn't necessarily come down, where the laws of physics are thrown out the window and high off the glass. It's power that moves us forward by leaps and bounds, the kind of power that brings the house down so the house can rise up. That's power. We are power.
After graduating 9 seniors following last year's 20-12 season and NCAA tournament appearance, 10 newcomers highlight this season's men's basketball roster at Tulsa. With only 3 players appearing in a game at TU prior to this season, it has taken hard work and leadership to help keep the Hurricane heading in the right direction.
Well, trying to build the chemistry, the cohesiveness that always coincides with success, and it takes time. I like where we're at. This group has been great in terms of learning and picking up new things, but we've got good leadership too. So it's been a fun group. I don't think it's not going to be smooth sailing, but I'm excited about as we progress what holds ahead of this team.
One of the returners that has helped in this transition is redshirt junior TK Adogi.
Being that he set out last year, I think he's really accepted that role and been the vocal leader of this team. Even though he's a junior on the court, but he's a senior. He's been around a long time. He's really embraced that, and I think his teammates look to him for that. He's done a really good job at being a leader.
I'm very vocal, and I try to lead by example, try to get in the gym. When the guys see me in the gym or see me talking, then hopefully they follow.
Lucky for TK, he has had some great leadership to learn from in years past.
I learned a lot from Shaquille Harrison, just how to lead a team, lead by example. And then Brandon Swanigan, just the way he talked on the court. I just try to take parts and pieces from those guys and just try to lead this year.
After losing 81% of its scoring and 78% of its rebounding, there have without question been some holes to fill. Something that Coach Haith is clearly working on with the use of 7 different starting lineups through 20 games this year.
I think we're deeper in the post. I think our guard play, we lost 2 guys that that are 2 of the greats to play at Tulsa, and James Wood and Shaquille Harrison. We've got to develop a backcourt that will be competitive in this league, and but I think that's for us is just to stay in the process and develop as the year progresses.
While the personnel has significantly changed, the goal has remained the same: to win.
He's really worked hard at developing his game, but he's always been a very explosive athlete. And I think now just fine-tuning things, being more skillful, was the next step for him, and I think our folks will see that.
My goal as a team aspect is, to win games, win the conference regular season, win the conference tournament, and make the NCAA tournament. And then personally, just to play well, play confident, and just bring the best effort every day and help my team win.
A team that is in good position for the conference championship and has its eyes set on the NCAA tournament, Tulsa could very well make a big statement this week as they host the top 2 teams in the conference, both of which are receiving attention in the national polls. The good news for the Golden Hurricane, they tend to play well on their home court and will host both Cincinnati and SMU this week. They welcome the Bearcats to the Reynolds Center on Wednesday night, an 8 p.m. tip-off on CBS Sports Network, and then host SMU on Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN News. Should be 2 great games with a lot on the line for all 3 teams. You won't want to miss it. That's all we have for you on this week's episode of The Rise. As always, thanks for tuning in. Have a great week, everybody.